Yo, what up? It's Amaje, and we back here with another video. Today we're about to be reacting to every lie mentioned in Drake's lawsuit. Ugh. I feel like this nigga's just dragging this whole thing, bro. He lost, nigga. Get over it. And then recently, this nigga's bringing like reaction channels into the beef. Like, he's not suing them, but like he's like putting them in position to like get like hate from his fans too. And it just makes no sense. Like, bro, told I think he told Kai to get on a stream and to react to his diss. He said don't I think he said don't get off stream. And then he mentions this nigga in the lawsuit. I swear to God, this nigga is going out sad. But enough of my babbling. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, man.
An 81-page lawsuit against UMG. The reason is because of their promotion of Kendrick Lamar's diss track on Drake, Not Like Us. However, instead of just taking the L in his beef with Kendrick, many fans think this is Drake's way of responding to the beef with legal action. But that leaves us with a couple of questions. Like, why is Drake suing UMG? Why isn't he suing Kendrick? And what does Drake hope to gain from this lawsuit? Well, to truly understand why Drake is suing UMG and whether or not he has any grounds to, we've got to go back to the beginning. Real quick, my name is Matt and I make music related content every single week, so if you guys want to stay in the loop with stuff like this, make sure to subscribe and stick around. Anyways, let's continue. It all started when Kendrick Lamar released his verse on Control. That's a joke. I did an hour-and-a-half long video on the
I'm
beef
not watching
that's
that
on screen
again.
right now. If you guys don't know about it by now, you can check that out and be filled in. However, after the beef, I think the majority of people felt like Kendrick had won. His track Not Like Us was breaking records and had everybody yelling certified pedo about Drake. So rather than hit Kendrick back harder with another diss, Drake filed a petition for a lawsuit. The petition was aimed at UMG and Spotify, and basically it accused them of doing illegal things to promote Kendrick's track Not Like Us. It wasn't actually aimed at Kendrick, although it is kind of in a sense, but I'll explain that later. Drake also had some grievances with UMG promoting this song, saying that this song was doing so well, it was costing Drake some streams. The reason that Drake
You know what's crazy about that, bro? Back in 2016, UNG was doing the same thing for this nigga. I remember I was in the car. My sister could not stop playing One Dance, or what was the other crappy song he had that got so tired already? Not God's Plan. That song was pushed to death too. But like, so many songs were pushed to death, and now he wants to play victim right here. This nigga, man.
is threatening to sue UMG is because Kendrick is signed to Interscope, which is a subsidiary of Universal Music Group, one of the big three record labels that owns all of the other little record labels. Drake, on the other hand, is signed to Republic Records, which is also a subsidiary of UMG. So basically, Drake feels like UMG was playing favorites. The petition wasn't a lawsuit though. Basically, this just means that he wanted them to gather information before an actual lawsuit was filed. The petition said, in 2024, UMG did not rely on chance or even ordinary business practices to break through the noise on Spotify and likely other music platforms. It instead launched a campaign to manipulate and saturate the streaming services and airwaves with a song, Not Like Us, in order to make that song go viral, including by using bots and pay-to-play agreements. So throughout this whole petition, they claimed that Spotify got licensing deals from UMG to promote the song more than usual. They said that Siri would redirect you to Not Like Us when you asked to play Certified Lover Boy, and they also accused UMG of Radio Payola. One of the most interesting claims though was the claim about bots, because the only source cited was a DJ Academics interview on YouTube. Basically, Academics interviewed a kid who claimed to have been paid by Kendrick's team to bot 30 million plays on the track Not Like Us.
Is you could actually set up a bunch of fake phones, let's say Samsung devices, because device does matter, and what you're viewing it on, it can all be seen by Spotify. So what you would do is you want premium accounts. So like free plays, free trials, those don't work. So what you would do is you would get a gift card, you would set it up to a bunch of phones, and phones, I mean, like, you could emulate them. People can make fake phones off computers and servers and devices and computers and laptops, and you would pretty much just replay that so it looks like it's a play, and you play it for at least a minute of the song, or you could do the full song, and you just have it going in the background thousands and thousands and thousands of times.
For context though, and I'm saying this objectively, I don't think DJ Academics is a great source. He's been wrong multiple times and he lies quite often, and he's also a ginormous Drake fan, so clearly he's pretty biased. And that whole kid claiming that he had the Kendrick song botted was pretty much debunked already. So this was definitely not the greatest source for this petition. At first, people were very surprised that after a rap beef, Drake decided to petition for a lawsuit, which resulted in a lot of people clowning on Drake. And as you'll see, most people on the internet, they're clowning Drake here, the red button thing. I don't know if you guys remember that. Someone said this is Drake's January 6th. Stop the streams. That's a clip from my second channel, by the way. I'll link it below. I plan on posting there more often. UMG responded to these claims, though, saying, "The suggestion that UMG would do anything to undermine any of its artists is offensive and untrue. We employ the highest ethical practices in our marketing and promotional campaigns. No amount of contrived and absurd legal arguments in this pre-action submission can mask the fact that fans choose the music they want to hear. However, I do believe some bots were used, and I'll tell you."
Like, man, even Dave has called this nigga out right there too, bro. UNG just, I think UNG got this in the bag, bro. If he already canceled the first one, well, I don't think the second one's gonna go through. This nigga is such an idiot, bro. Why are you going like this out of it? Some people using the excuse he's trying to get out of his little deal they got with him, but no. Stop it right there. Stop being such a meat writer for Drake and giving this nigga excuses.
Why. I made a video a while ago talking about how common bots are in the music industry, and that pretty much every artist has their music botted by their labels, even if it's without their knowledge. Multiple labels have been caught doing it, multiple whistleblowers have talked about it, and I even had an artist tell me privately that their label botted their streams without their permission. Obviously, I'm not going to go into detail on that. I don't want to put that out there, but it's true. You guys can trust me. So like I said, I did a whole video on this, but the gist of it, if you don't believe me, is that a lot of labels, probably every label, has used bots at some point. Here, the streaming service Deezer said 7% of streams on their platform are fraudulent. And like this article says, that's just what they can identify. Another company that distributes for streaming services says that they believe 10% of all global streams are fraudulent. So the whole point of this video was for me to say, most of the time the artists don't even want this to happen. It's the labels that actually are doing it. But regardless, it is happening. So that's kind of why it makes sense that Drake, if this is happening, is targeting UMG and not directly Kendrick. And the problem with this petition is that botting is very common, and Drake likely already knew about it. So the fact that he chose to care about it after getting beat in the diss battle is exactly why I think it's stupid for Drake to bring that up in the first place. If Drake truly cared about the music industry and artists being treated fairly, he would have brought this up years ago. Regardless, after the first petition, Drake filed another one, this time aimed at UMG and iHeartRadio. It was basically the same claims, saying that UMG was paying iHeart to promote the song more than they would any other song. Then Spotify responded to Drake's claim, saying, "The predicate of petitioner's entire request for discovery from Spotify is false. Spotify and UMG have never had any such arrangement." Drake's team then responded to this by saying, "It is not surprising that Spotify is trying to distance themselves from UMG's allegedly manipulative practices to artificially inflate streaming numbers on behalf of one of its other artists." And then for a while, it was silence. Also, it isn't just the music industry that has to worry about bots. Even you could have some bots that steal your information while you're online, and you can make sure that your time on the internet is private with Proton. As you guys know, there's many pitfalls on the internet, whether it be an email service and also a password not be available where your YouTube log your internet traffic data. Proton's code is also open source for full transparency. Click my link, Proton VPN. Even though these were just petitions leading up to a lawsuit. And it wasn't until January 15th, just the other day, when Drake and his team finally filed a lawsuit against Universal Music Group. It's an 81-page lawsuit with a variety of very serious claims against UMG, Kendrick Lamar, and many others. And again, I want to specify the suit actually specifies they're not suing Kendrick, they're just suing Universal. However, a lot of this obviously applies to Kendrick. You'll see what I mean. Right before filing the suit, Drake dropped the petition against UMG and Spotify, but left the one for UMG and iHeart. In the lawsuit, he made a few claims against Universal. First, it touched on what we already mentioned, which is how UMG allegedly used multiple ways to promote Not Like Us, many of which were illegal. Things like botting, payola, and all that stuff. This lawsuit also used the academics clip as a source again, which I just thought was funny. And I really hope they have more proof for this stuff than what's cited in the actual suit, because a lot of it is just not good sources.
His lawyers should have just like did way more research. You're really gonna trust a whole glazer like academics out of all people? I only follow academics on Instagram just for the entertainment and sometimes entertainment in the comments. These niggas' mind are just so warped. I hate the comments, raps comments. I hate just all those comments. They're just full of weirdos and troll accounts. Basically, just children. Basically, they're just they're just full of airheads. Basically,
The lawsuit also
oh
pointed out a
man.
few specific creators because UMG took the copyright off of the song so more people would react to it and promote it. And it called out creators like Kai Cenat, RDC, and more. A few fans pointed out that Drake went after all black YouTubers while plenty of white YouTubers reacted to it as well. And I do want to clarify though that none of these creators are
That's
in any
weird.
sort of trouble or anything. Drake is just saying that because UMG took the copyright off of that song, it incentivized them to react to it more than they maybe normally would have because they're actually.
You know the thing about it, reactors are gonna react to shit despite that anyway. Despite them, if that that like little things the copyrights off of that, they're still gonna react to it. They're just not gonna make money for that video. Well, for reactors, like everybody just wants they shit to just go into the algorithm so people could see they stuff more. Like they're gonna react to that more than usual. Of course, they probably got paid off that shit, big money off that shit. And but like they're just gonna keep reacting to that because everybody's reacting to it, and they see literally everybody that's on there that got like a whole bunch of views off that shit. Bro, they got money off that, man. Like you see somebody else reacting to something, you're gonna be react. Oh yeah, I should react to that shit too.
Going to get some money from it. Although from personal experience, I can tell you that they
More
stopped doing that pretty
research.
quick because all my shit got claimed immediately. But anyways, I read through all 81 pages of the lawsuit to find out at the very end they have three major claims that basically sum up the whole thing, so let me break them down. The first major claim is defamation. They did have a bunch of evidence for this, although you'd think Kendrick would be the one being sued rather than UMG. Regardless, in the suit they cited a poll that said Drake's favorability had gone down. Drake's legal team quoted a bunch of lyrics from Not Like Us, like Kendrick saying things like certified pedos, and they said that this was Kendrick defaming Drake. They also pointed to the cover of the song, which is Drake's house with a bunch of pedo symbols on it. They show a bunch of comments saying that people just view Drake as a pedo now, along with a bunch of memes comparing Drake to people like Jeffrey Epstein. They put all of this in the suit to demonstrate that members of the public believe and repeat the false allegation. So yeah, I'm sure you guys get the gist of this section. The second major claim is harassment in the second degree. They actually opened the lawsuit with this argument, with the first few pages being about this. The lawsuit states, in the middle of the night on May 7th, 2024, an armed group of assailants drove up to the Toronto house in which Drake and his family resided. Drake was inside. The car stopped in front of the residence, someone yelled "fuck Drake," and at least one gunman began to open fire. They went on to say that his security guard was hit and actually barely survived. Then the suit says, the very next day, May 8th, 2024, a different intruder used his bare hands to dig a hole under the security fence surrounding Drake's Toronto house. He managed to dig deep enough to squeeze through and enter Drake's property.
Look, that one they can't really do nothing about. Like Kendrick is not in charge of that. There's just crazy ass weirdo fans taking like shit into their own hands and going to do that type of stuff. Like other stars just can't like help. I can't even get my words out. But like other stars just can't basically help what other people do. Like man. Like, especially in a rap beef, these rap beefs be so personal and deep down to heart for those people that run those fan accounts and for like hardcore fans, they will literally come after you, try to come after you at least.
The trespasser managed to yell racist slurs and threats against Drake before being escorted off the property. On May 9th, 2024, the very next day, another break-in attempt happened. In the 2 decades leading up to May of 2024, although Drake was constantly in the public eye, nothing remotely like these events had ever happened to him or his family. Basically, they were saying that Not Like Us was literally inciting violence against Drake. And obviously, these all happening right after the diss, like, I could see how that kind of maybe inspired it, but that's not UMG's fault, that's not Kendrick's fault, that's just crazy fans doing crazy things. They also said in the suit, the
Exactly.
refrain that Drake is
Exactly.
not like us, the recording alludes to Drake's Jewish heritage, saying that Drake is not a colleague but a fucking colonizer. Which I think it's pretty crazy to say that Kendrick was referring to Drake being Jewish. Pretty obviously, he was talking about Drake not being a part of the culture, but they use this as an opportunity to call Kendrick anti Semitic. One fan actually responded to this part of the lawsuit saying, "As a Jewish person, I'm pissed at Drake for trying to call anti Semitism on Not Like Us. He's never been vocal on Jewish issues. He's never talked about systemic anti Semitism. He's never done anything except use his Jewish
That's what's
heritage as a coat
crazy.
dressing in his music."
That's crazy. You even have like some of your Jew fans like just like telling you how it's straight. That's just wild, bro. Hmm. The fuck? Ah.
Music videos the same way as he's done with other cultures. Finally, the third major claim was that UMG violated the New York General Business Law 349, which basically just means that Drake is saying UMG used deceptive acts in their promotion of the song. The suit claimed that by devaluing Drake's music and brand, UMG would gain leverage to force Drake to sign a new deal on terms more favorable to UMG. They said this because Drake is apparently renegotiating his deal with Universal this year. However, they don't really have much proof, at least in the lawsuit, for this statement. But this whole lawsuit begs the question, why would Drake actually go through with this lawsuit? I mean, he's gotta know how this makes him look after losing the beef, right? And also, what does Drake even stand to gain from this? Well, Drake and his team asked for a few things at the end of the lawsuit. First, they asked for damages and attorney fees, lawsuit fees, and all that sort of stuff to be paid for, which is pretty normal. But then he asked for UMG to apologize and I guess take back what they said or promoted. After that, they asked for injunctive relief enjoining UMG for making statements about the popularity of the recording, image, or video that it knows to be false based on fake streams or pay for play. This means that they want UMG to acknowledge that they had fake streams and payola to make the song go viral. Basically, Drake just wants them to stop pushing these ideas that are hurting his image and also acknowledge that they allegedly pushed the song in illegal ways. So this lawsuit is very crazy and Drake made some major claims against his own record label. Drake was saying that this song caused physical violence on him, endangered his family, destroyed his reputation, hurt his income, was orchestrated by UMG so they could renegotiate his deal at a lower price, and all sorts of things. And obviously, these bold statements forced UMG to respond. Universal responded by saying, "Not only are these claims untrue, but the notion that we would seek to harm the reputation of any artist, let alone Drake, is illogical. We have invested massively in his music and our employees around the world have worked tirelessly for many years to help him achieve historic commercial and personal financial success. Throughout his career, Drake has intentionally and successfully used UMG to distribute his music and poetry to engage in conventional, outrageous, back and forth rap battles to express his feelings about other artists. He now seeks to weaponize the legal process to silence an artist's creative expression and to seek damages from UMG for distributing that artist's music. And not to be the guy that's sticking up for the label here, but that does make sense. I mean, what else is the label supposed to do? Not let their own
Bro, UMG is on this nigga's ass, bro. This nigga Drake's a pussy.
artists say whatever they want to say. And on top of that, they've let Drake say what he wanted to say about plenty of other artists. Take Rick Ross, The Weeknd, his whole beef with Pusha T. They let him do all of that and they didn't have any problems. And now Drake comes in looking a little hypocritical when he takes an issue with Kendrick and Universal. So really, this entire situation just resulted in more people clowning on Drake. Billboard even put out an article saying Drake's latest lawsuit isn't hip hop. And it's true. Drake took tons of shots at Kendrick that were pretty rough, like saying that Kendrick hit his wife or was out of his kids' lives. But then he decided to sue Kendrick when Kendrick's track was hurling just as many serious accusations, but it got more play.
You know what's crazy? This nigga wouldn't be not. I said wouldn't. Well, he would not be doing this if he won the battle. You see how this nigga acted when he won against Meek? Well, he didn't act like this against Pusha T, but like every battle he won, I bet he would not be acting like this. This is just fucking wild.
plays. Others have said that Drake is scared to sue Kendrick, or people like Sean C, for example, have suggested that Drake is too prideful to sue Kendrick. Maybe because he was self-aware enough to know that suing Kendrick directly would look way worse than suing the label. And even back when Drake put out the petitions, UMG was like, you should be suing Kendrick, not us. They even said that they'd help him sue Kendrick, not them.
The lawsuit is not about the artist who created Not Like Us, of course, because your pride wouldn't allow you to sue Kendrick Lamar, who you would undoubtedly have a much stronger case against than UMG. And when I say much stronger, I don't mean he would win or even get anywhere. I'm just saying that it would be more reasonable to sue the man that actually wrote the lyrics as opposed to the company that allowed him to release it. It is instead entirely about UMG.
Sean C, as you just saw, covered this topic recently, and I think he had a great perspective. He was just saying, similar to what UMG was saying, that Drake's entire argument doesn't make sense for one reason.
Why would UMG, who has given Drake so much money and also received so much money as a result of the music that Drake's been making from the infancy of his career, what benefit would it be to UMG, who still needs Drake to sell records on their label, to damage his reputation, preventing him from being able to do the thing that will make not only Drake but UMG, the company who's funding him, more money? Do you really think that they think that they'll be making and recouping more money off of the Not Like Us record than they will off of another 4 or 5 Drake albums? Use your head.
However, at the same time, you gotta wonder, if
He's
Drake
correct.
didn't think that he actually had a case here, would he actually be suing his own record label and making his image even worse? Or does he actually have some grounds to do this? Well, I think only time will tell, so let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Bro, I think this nigga's going about this all wrong. I feel like if this nigga just forgot about all of this, I feel like his way out is just like gone already. I feel like he's just doing too much now, and like people are not gonna forget this. This is just gonna become like a stain on his reputation. Like niggas, like forget niggas clowning him in the comments about like just like, oh, you lost the battle. Now it's gonna be like, oh, you're suing him. Oh, if he gets into another rap beef, oh, what are you gonna do? Sue him if he wins? Like, bro, he had it out before he started posting all those weird ass selfies, like with the duck lips and shit. He had it out right there when he started releasing music on that little site. This whole little this whole little thing is just ruining his reputation. But hey, let me know what you guys think about that whole video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It's free. And let me know what else you want me to react to. I'll catch you guys in the next video.